Hey guys, I'm back for the next installment of Let's Build a Tank. And per my last episode, just like I told you guys, I was going to get all the equipment painted, and I did that with the tools and color set from Ammo by MIG, using a couple of 3 small detail brushes. I'm pretty happy with the results. Wire cutters, tow cable, all painted. The jack, and I kind of did a mixed, where they got some yellow paint on the jack and some of it's worn through, so it's not, metallic silver all the way, and used a couple of different tones on the toolbox. Pretty happy with the way that turned out. A pry bar, that's for adjusting track tension. Really pretty happy with the way the tools turned out. I do want to point out one thing about the tools that I don't think is commonly known. It's just kind of a FYI, something I want to share with you guys. Let me zoom in just a little more. And if I could draw your attention to the wire cutters, and you'll notice they're not brown. There was a reason for that. That's because they weren't. The standard issue or supplied wire cutters or bolt cutters on a German armored vehicle during the Second World War actually were made from a material called bakelite. And it was a kind of reddish orange color. And that's why these are painted that. It's bakelite is a kind of a early polymer or early plastic, and that's how it was utilized. So just kind of wanted to show you guys that a little simple detail. Now, after I finished painting the tools on this model, I sprayed it in a gloss coat. This is Model Master Acryl clear gloss acryl color, and that's why you see the gloss shine. And I do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, it protects the paintwork underneath, which is good. And second is it provides a nice smooth surface to apply our decals, which is going to be the next step, or decals. And then it's also going to apply, or serve as a base for our weathering, because I'm going to do a simple sludge oil type paint wash using a MIG product that I have already in my possession. So that's what the gloss coat is for. So far, I'm very happy with the way the project's turned out. I did have some issues, of course, with the camouflage paint, but I was able to clean it up nicely with an airbrush. I guess I quote-unquote cheated, but overall, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. And the next thing I want to do is talk about this whole decaling process. It's really quite simple, and everything that you will need to do this process I've got handy and ready to go. Let me back out for you guys just a little bit. So all you need for this process is, of course, some water. And I borrowed one of my wife's dishes some time ago, so I'm not even sure she really knows about it. You need, of course, the decals. You need some tweezers, a good sharp hobby knife. I have the Tamiya Model or Pro knife here. And there are a number of products to use on the market for affixing the decal. And there's this microsaw, which is put out by Microscale. I use pretty much these 2 Vallejo products. I use a Decal Fix or Decal Medium. And I'm really happy with the way they work out, and I'll be illustrating how this goes. So there's not a whole lot of decals to put on for this build. This tank is going to be decaled for the 502nd Schwere Panzerabteilung, or Heavy Tank Battalion. It's an escort tank for the Tigers, and it's basically just 4 decals. No, I take that back. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decals total to install. And we will be going through that process, and I'll show you how that works. So I will be right back. Just want to get a couple things ready, and we'll do the next segment. Hang on. All right, guys, let's get started. So the way I do this, I have your model here, of course. I'm going to be installing the turret. There's 3 sets of turret numbers for this tank that we're going to be building. This 133 here with the white outlines. You take your knife and you want to cut the decal free from the sheet as close to the carrier film as possible, because you don't want much of that extra carrier film out hanging loose, because it makes it harder to hide when you install it on the model. So you simply cut that away from the sheet, leaving you, of course, the numbers. Now these numbers I'm about to install go on the back of the turret, and I've got a couple of brushes that I use. I use one flat bristle brush and another kind of, it's round, but it's kind of a medium, small to medium brush that I use to dab on the decal fix. We'll get to that here in just a second. And you need this. You need something to put that stuff in. Shake up 2 mediums good first. And first things first is you take the decal, and of course, a lot of you guys have seen this before. Simply place it in the water. Let it sit for just a couple of minutes. It'll sink to the bottom there. If I'm not mistaken, the instructions actually say you should put it in tepid water, which would be lukewarm also. And sometimes I do that, and sometimes I don't. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, if it makes that much of a difference. I think the warmer water may make the solution peel away a little better from the carrier film or the carrier sheet. Next thing I'm going to do is, while I'm letting that set, is I'm going to dab just a little bit of water where I'm going to place this decal. And I'm going to grab a toothpick, because I use the toothpick sometimes to position the decal on the vehicle. And I try to reduce the possibility of damaging it while I'm installing it. So, all right, I think we should be just about ready. So, I'm going to take the decal out of our water, and very carefully slide the number onto the back of this turret bin. It should come off. If it doesn't slide off, it's not ready. So I'm going to let it soak for just a little bit longer. That's what I'm doing there. Excuse me. My wife's been sick this past week. I certainly hope I don't get what she's had. Bless her heart, she's been missing a lot of sleep because she's up all night coughing. So let's try this again. And hopefully this will slide off for us. And it just tore on me. Okay, back again, guys. Sorry about that. The decal broke on me. By the way, that will happen, and but I was able to repair it. As you can see, it looks just fine. And what I'm going to go back and do, so it broke cleanly into 2 pieces, by the way, and so that's why it was easy to fix. I just very carefully put each part on, and I didn't want to be fiddling with that while I was also trying to operate the camera and talk to you guys. So, got the back turret number installed. Next thing I'm going to do is take this decal medium, which is an alcohol-based product. It's really the same thing that's the microsaw, and I dip that round brush. Now, the purpose of this is it softens the decal, and I just want to very lightly dab it on the decal, and it makes it conform to the round corners of the model better, and the little nooks and crannies and crevices of the model. And also, I'm going to work with the positioning on this just a skosh. And I'm going to go back and then put the decal fixture on it. So I dab that on it. I'm going to be doing the same thing. There are 3 Balkan Kreuzes to install, and then the divisional emblem, the Mastodon, which goes on the front glasses plate, or not the glasses plate, but the front hull plate, next to the bow radio operator / auxiliary machine gun operator's position. So after I even put on all the decals, and I've used the decal medium to soften them, then I'm going to go back and put the decal fixer on her, which is an acrylic fixer. It's, I think, very similar to a matte base, just to kind of seal the decal onto the model better. And then we'll be done with the decaling part. So I will be right back shortly, guys. See ya. Here we go, guys. I'm about to place the last decal. This is the divisional emblem, the Mastodon, and I have placed some of the Vallejo decal medium on this front plate here. And this is a pretty small decal. Just trying to slide it out of the hole. There we go. And I'm going to use the toothpick to position it. It's really about where I want it. Just place a dab of the medium over the top of it. Well, it moves it around somewhat. That's not a problem. I'm going to reposition it with my brush. And there it is. So all six of those decals have been installed. And let me zoom in so you guys can see that better. You see the solution's got to dry. So the turret numerals and Balkenkreuzes have been installed. There's a Balkenkreuz on the back of the vehicle as well. All those have been installed. The decal medium needs to dry. It's alcohol based, so that won't take very long. So I'm going to let the medium dry, and then I'm going to use the decal fixer, which is an acrylic medium, to hold the decal in place. It'll also protect the decals as we get ready to do our final weathering phase, which is going to be the oil wash. So, alright guys, I'm going to let this dry, and we'll be back in a little while, and we'll take a look and see how we go from there. Alright guys, we're back, and the setting solution has dried enough so that we can go back and use the decal fix and put that nice protective coating on. And now for this, I'm going to be using this flat brush. Use this decal fix here, and I'm simply going to decant. Let me shake it up a little better because it is an acrylic. It's basically a matte decal medium. So I'm going to use this flat brush to apply it, and all I'm going to do is basically seal the decals that I have already installed. This stuff is kind of thick. And in fact, this needs to be mixed better. I'm going to drop a ball bearing in this bottle. I'm pretty sure it's just a matte varnish, but it still needs to be mixed up just a little better. Clean that up with water. Sorry, just shaking this up. So now I'm going to apply this to the nice smooth strokes across that surface. Same thing on the numbers on this side. So I'm not doing really anything more than placing a protective varnish coat over the decal. And the stuff dries completely clear. So I'm putting it on the front Mastodon individual emblem, and there's a little bit of an accumulation, so I'm going to dip the brush in water and I'm going to go back and kind of clean that up a little bit, so I don't want that stuff drying white. On a funny note, I did use a pretty liberal application of the gloss varnish, that Tester's Acryl, Model Master Acryl glass varnish, gloss varnish, that you glued the turret in place. I mean, I can't turn that turret now if I wanted to, and of course I don't want to risk breaking any of the parts off of it either. So all I'm doing is taking some water and trying to remove some of that excess white stuff. I don't want it to dry white. And if I had a cotton bud handy, I'd do the same thing. Oops. But I don't want to remember that. Some water in that. And that's that. So I'm going to let this dry. It will dry actually pretty quickly because this Viejo acrylics, as you know, or may not know, the stuff dries very quickly. And the last step is going to be painting, or doing the wash, rather. And I'm just going to do wash. That's really the only weathering I'm going to do, because I think that's possibly all that a novice or beginner modeler would do, which was the whole point of this series, right? So I think I've enjoyed this project, and I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed staying along with me, for those of you had, and I certainly appreciate your support. So I'm going to let this dry. The next episode, the next video actually, will be the wash process, and then we're going to call it done. We'll be done. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I will talk to you later and see you soon in the next episode.